Mainstream establishment propaganda news agencies want you to think that Kamala Harris is the best choice for the 2024 presidential election, but they hope you have a very bad memory. They hope you don't remember the facts, like the fact that, as California's Attorney General, Harris attacked vulnerable populations and implemented policies which disproportionately adversely affected people of color, immigrants, and the poor. She denied people convicted of minor drug possession access to California's drug courts, which offered alternatives to incarceration, such as drug rehabilitation centers instead of prison. Kamala Harris imprisoned parents whose children missed too much school. Harris used her position as Attorney General to be a de facto slave owner by keeping people in prison beyond their sentences, so she could use them for cheap labor. As District Attorney of San Francisco, Kamala Harris sent roughly 2,000 people to state prisons for minor marijuana possession. Harris tried to cover up the fact that her own Justice Department labs were returning false positives in order to send more innocent people to prison for crimes they didn't commit, until her cover-up was eventually exposed. Kamala Harris even withheld exculpatory evidence, which would have exonerated several defendants who were wrongfully convicted and given the death penalty, such as Kevin Cooper and reality TV star Jamal Truelove, among many others. And if you consider yourself a liberal voter, you should know that Kamala Harris opposed California's sex work decriminalization measure. She helped federal officials raid immigrant businesses. Harris fought against the court ruling that California's death penalty was unconstitutional. Kamala Harris denied affirmation surgery for transgender inmates. She also refused to support a measure to require more scrutiny in police shootings and misuse of force cases. And Kamala Harris even publicly turned a blind eye to sexual misconduct by Oakland police against an underage girl. Knowing all of this, which is only the tip of the iceberg, and knowing how much worse Kamala Harris has made San Francisco and California as places to live and work, is it any wonder why every legitimate and accurate poll shows that the majority of Americans do not want Kamala Harris to be running the country? Is it any wonder why Democrat Party leaders refuse to allow Democrat voters to vote for their candidate of choice after Biden announced his withdrawal from the 2024 presidential race? Was the Democrat Party leadership worried because Democrat voters did not support Harris like they didn't in 2019, when her national approval rating was an abysmal 3%? With the fact that Kamala Harris has been a virtually non-existent vice president for more than 3.5 years with no accomplishments or successes to speak of, you have to ask, why are they hyping her up now all of the sudden? Why hasn't Kamala Harris done any of the things she claims she will do if she did none of those things during her years as vice president when she could have? Kamala Harris was bad for California. She's even worse for America. This is not a paid political advertisement or endorsed by any political party.